I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues. And Will's rattling a glass.
I thought it'd be fun.
Yep, I had a great time.
I mean,
All right, cool. This was Guys with Issues. Tune in next week.
Fives all around. See ya. So, today we're talking about Red Lanterns, Rage of the Red Lanterns,
Yep,
and Rise of the Alpha Lanterns, technically rolled into one.
yep.
And also the Blue Lanterns, and also the
Well,
the
that's
purple
part
or
of- those are
violet or
violet.
whatever.
The indigo look almost more like purple. The violet are pinkish. You haven't seen indigo yet.
Spoilers.
Well, you know Roy G. Biv.
I know.
Do I know him?
Oh, jeez.
Have to
Know
remind-
Know him? I
couldn't think of
I heard
anything
he's
either.
in Prism.
Nice.
There you go. You saved it.
That's good.
Usually jokes.
I like that you
Yeah.
you have
I like
a pretty
that
big
one.
smile.
That was good.
Oh,
Usually
shoot.
when you tell a joke, you don't start with the punchline.
No,
So,
Yep.
Patrick, you got anything to share?
couple of things.
Okay. What's up?
So, I ordered me a new riding lawnmower.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talked about you wanting to hawk your old one on the last
Yeah, I want
episode.
to hawk my
Ding.
old one.
Yep.
And
Issue.
It's pretty nice.
The new one?
Yeah, it's electric and it's quiet, and I don't have to worry about gas and oil and belts and
And it boogie woogies.
it boogie woogies.
Nice.
Yeah. Enjoy
They
it
are
immensely.
they're taking almost all lawnmowers electric these days because I broke mine a couple weeks ago, like 3 or 4, and I went to go get a new one, and there was only like 3 or 4 options at the Lowe's I went to that had just regular gas powered
Nice.
lawnmowers.
If it didn't take so much maintenance, I like the normal like push ones. Like the old school like rotary blade
Sure.
clippers,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're kind of a pain to maintain because if as soon as they dull, they just don't work.
Right.
You know, they say
So-
that's like the best way to cut your grass
I have heard that.
because they've made power versions of them, but it has to do with like the way it cuts your grass. And it doesn't leave.
Like, is it a health thing?
Yeah, it doesn't leave like frayed edges. I
Well,
think is what it is.
If you have
and
a
so it's
sharp
like,
blade on your other one, you don't usually get frayed
Yeah.
edges either.
but like the cutting action is basically like a scissoring
Yes, I've
sort
heard
of
that.
thing.
Right, right.
So, with like the regular just blade that spins around in your lawnmower, it can leave like a torn kind of edge on the
Okay.
top of your grass, and so that part will die off relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just like a day or two later, after you get done mowing, it kind of looks like your yard is dead.
Yeah, you can see that. I've seen that.
Yeah,
But I
And
use
so-
a dull blade, so.
Oh, me too. Always,
Right.
Patrick.
Wonderful.
So you love your electric boogie woogie,
I mean, so far, I've used it once, but yeah,
but
yeah.
you can tell.
it's great.
Nice.
I can just listen to stuff with my regular headphones in. I don't need fancy ones with noise canceling and all that crap.
It'll match your Tesla when you get it.
I'm not getting a Tesla. Forget that crap. Anyway, so the second thing
Cybertruck.
is no,
Hey, I saw that one again. It was
Yeah.
right outside work. It passed on 6.
no.
When I
It's, there's one in Warsaw.
Well, no, I was saying because I saw one the one time I mentioned seeing one like leaving Napanee as I was going in.
Right.
And the other day I was turning into the parking lot and one came by. It has to be the same one.
Yeah.
There can't be more than one guy in like 50 miles that would buy
Maybe there's
one.
2 because
May-
there's one in Warsaw that
I don't know. I was
Chad drove by. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's usually parked here," and he drove by, and there it was.
Yeah, it looks
I'd-
so funky.
I was going to South Bend last week, and I passed one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So what else you got?
So the company picnic
Oh,
was
yes.
this weekend, and I had lost a lot of weight since the last one. So I decided to dye all of my hair a different color and get a toupee. And I went as a different person.
Nice. I was gonna bring it up of like, usually Pat's got some salt and pepper in the beard.
It's mostly salt.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say that was nice of you. Will.
It was nice of you, Will.
He's getting saltier.
Heck,
these days.
I'm getting to the point where it's mostly salt.
And I'm the
feel
old
like-
one in the group. Back in my day.
Back in your day.
I don't know. When I was a senior in high school, one of the guys I was friends with, he started going gray at 18.
It happens.
It does.
So you went as Frederick.
I went as Frederick, the new IT guy.
Oh,
And there's
fun.
a story behind this. So a salesperson called in trying to sell IT or the company some sort of IT thing. I didn't pay any attention to that. And they asked for Frederick, the guy in IT, and the person who answered the phone was like, "We don't have a Frederick. We have a Patrick." And the person said, "Oh, well, isn't Frederick short for Patrick?" So it's been a thing since then with a few people.
Yes.
But I got so many people. Like, I looked so different that people just did not recognize me for the most part, unless I said something to them.
Yeah.
Once I said something to them, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Patrick, what did you do?" Which was amazing. There's a few people who didn't even recognize me after I started talking to them, which was even better.
Two things. One, did you also wear contacts so you weren't wearing your glasses?
I wore contacts and sunglasses.
He had
like a full-on Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
level.
it was pretty good.
Yep. I enjoyed that so much. It was so much fun. Just freaking people out. It was great. Like, I didn't look bad.
No, not at all.
I just looked so different.
So are you going to plan your disguise for next year? You're just going to
No, I
start doing it
can't.
every... Sure you can. You
No,
can buy
'cause
like
then
one of
people
those...
will expect it, and I don't want that.
So how funny would it be? Because you were talking the other day about maybe being able to get in a new IT guy. How hilarious would it be if you hired an IT guy named Frederick?
Well, I mean, that top of the list. If your name is Frederick and you apply, you're probably in.
Like, you're like, you passed
For-
the interview.
If I get it approved that I can even hire somebody. That still
Right.
hasn't
Yeah.
happened yet.
The other part of that is when I first met Chris, he kind of, had some longer hair and a bit of a
Oh,
bigger
yeah.
beard. And it was only like,
That was when I was growing my hair out. I was trying to.
the second or third day I was working there, I would walked past him, or maybe he came out of the bathroom, whatever. We started walking together. He started talking to me, and I'm like, this guy sounds hella familiar. He's talking to me like we know each other, but I don't recognize him one bit. And so I talked to my other friend. I'm like, do I know that guy? He's like, yeah, that's Chris. We've had lunch with him for the past 3 days.
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's that guy.
I need to show you a picture, Will. Once we're done.
So
I guess I could show it to you now.
I
Get your
was-
reaction.
I was training a person in a department when I did what Will just shared. And when I came in the next day and I went to continue training her and I started talking, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was you." So Will wasn't the only one. He was not alone in that. It was,
Rarely am I ever.
but yeah, it was a big difference.
All right, well, I just texted you
Wow.
because I'm too lazy to get up right now. I had a rough day.
You had a rough day.
I didn't really.
I like that you're just like, really, there's a table between us, and I'm just gonna.
Well, I gotta
Oh, no.
remove my headset. I've gotta.
I forgot that I put you in my phone as Pat the Hat.
Nice.
Because of his top hat.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. Pat.
Nice. So this was you
That was Frederick.
full Fredericked up.
Right. That was right before I walked out. No, I didn't have my sunglasses on at that time.
Yep.
Completely different.
If we hadn't been doing this podcast, probably would have gotten me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my wife even was like, she said that it took her a second, and then she's like, when did Patrick grow his hair out? And then she was like, and like her brain went, how can Patrick, does he just shave his head?
Nope.
Yeah, she said that like it was really, she was taken aback.
That's great.
Yeah, pretty funny.
It was pretty good.
Yep, I enjoyed
But-
it. I thought it was good times. I think everybody
Good.
really enjoyed it. I don't think anybody was like, "That's dumb."
No, I mean, that's the whole point, right? You
Yeah.
do something like that and people are like, oh man, you got me.
Right? Yep,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
That's fun for everyone. Fun for the whole family.
Did Chad recognize you?
I think so. But
Did he know about it ahead of time?
No, but I think it's because Katie was next to me. I think that
Oh.
helped.
Yeah, if you were there, if you had been alone, that might have thrown him off a little, maybe.
Right.
But
The people that we did know, Katie was like back 15, 20 feet.
Hmm,
Just
Like,
make
just to throw it off a
just
little
to throw
bit.
it off, yeah.
that's good.
It worked out really
Good.
well. Yeah,
It's nice to have an accomplice, you know?
it is.
Whenever you're doing, stuff, always bring a partner.
Bring a partner.
Like,
right.
deep down, Will was like, I'm not going to say crime.
Stuff.
Crime stuff.
Anyway, yeah. So
Fun.
that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, so you had a great picnic.
Yep.
Excellent. That's good.
Best picnic I ever had.
And you had a bonus gift card.
And I got a bonus gift.
You got to answer a pun and got a gift card.
I did.
That is in true Patrick fashion.
It is.
It is.
This
it
does
was,
not phase me or surprise me at all.
No, me either. As soon as he told me that it was joke was told and whoever answered the joke would get the gift card, I looked at him and I said, "So you got the gift card, right?"
Absolutely.
But he did wait to give others a chance
I did.
because he knew the joke.
as a true master should.
Right.
It's like we should let the acolytes, and the noobs have their shot.
Sure.
That's fair.
And
That is
then
fair.
let them see a master at work.
Yeah.
How often are you told a joke that you don't know the answer to?
At this point, not that often.
I was going to say it has to be fairly rare by now.
It is.
Yeah. Like any kind of like pun or dad joke,
Right.
it has to be very rare.
Oh, actually, I do have
Wordplay.
one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to the aquarium this weekend too.
Oh,
I
to
did-
go swimming.
Yeah, I didn't stay very long. That place was just too fishy.
Oh, good. That's a good one.
I almost forgot.
too.
That he went to the aquarium.
No, but I was going to say that on the podcast. I did
Oh.
not actually go to the aquarium.
Ah,
Yeah,
He just wanted to tell that joke.
I did.
cool.
Will, what were you up to? Anything? Did you go
Right.
see Borderlands?
No. I did watch some reviews on it, and they're like, it is so bad. So bad. I might end up seeing it this week
You're like,
since we're recording kind of early.
I just don't know if I want to spend the money. That's what you're thinking.
It's not
Giving-
even like I don't want to.
it's giving
I don't want
them the money.
I don't want them to have money
Right.
for
It's
doing something
understandable.
terrible. Because
That's like
Yeah,
how
it's-
I felt watching The Acolyte because I was like, dang it, this gives Disney views on this.
Maybe I need to get out my tricorn hat and an eye patch and just watch it that way.
there you go.
Because it's pirated.
Right.
Wow.
So, Will,
Anyway, yeah.
what
I-
has eight arms, 8 legs, and 8 eyes?
4 people?
8 pirates.
Ah,
I
it was close.
That joke is so dumb.
No,
but
it
it's
is.
fun.
Sorry, go on, Will.
Anyway, past weekend I went over to my mom's house and helped her out with some stuff.
Nice.
And then they had Baldur's Gate 3 on sale on PlayStation. I'm like, how fun would it be to get my mom to play Baldur's Gate?
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
great.
that's true.
Yeah.
And you guys do co-op a lot of stuff.
We love like co-op stuff. So I got Baldur's Gate 3, went over, and I tried to get her to play it with me. But she's like, let me just watch it first. So I ended up playing it with my oldest sister, I should say. And
Who you oftentimes you've played Outward and Borderlands and
Oh, yeah, we
various
played
things. Divinity? You guys played Divinity.
Both the first and second. We played all the Gears of War together.
So this was right up the alley.
Right up the alley.
Nice.
And we were kind of playing around with the character creator, be like, I don't know what to make. And she was kind of hitting the random button. She's like, oh, this person kind of looks like an Oompa Loompa. I'm like, oh, cool. go Oompa Loompa, I'll make a Willy Wonka. And so I made a warlock who looks like Willy Wonka. I'm just waiting to find some that looks like a top hat.
That's
right now I have a
amazing.
wizard hat. And
For some reason, I think there's a top hat in that game.
I sure hope there is.
I think
mean,
so.
And then her Oompa Loompa is a rogue. I'm like, that's true D&D because every
right.
session needs a rogue.
That's perfect.
Wow.
So
Just
yeah, we've
missing
been
the bard.
yeah would complete the set.
Right.
But yeah, apart from that, I don't think I really got up to anything else.
Did your mom have fun watching you?
Oh yeah, she thought it was hilarious when we were making our characters and like we were kind of like role playing some stuff a little bit, you know, being like, what would Willy Wonka do in this instance?
Nice.
How does this inspire Candy?
Yeah, so that's his whole goal. He just needs to find a spot to build his tower. That was what we were saying, or to build his factory, I should say, not his
Right.
tower. That's not what he does. But yeah,
So did either of you watch the Wonka musical?
nope.
My kids were watching it like a month ago,
Yeah.
2 months ago, and I caught like a good portion of it, but I did not like sit. I was doing something else when they had it on.
Right. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
good for
it
what
seemed
is, yeah.
Timothy Chalamet seems he's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. What I saw of it, it seemed pretty worthwhile. Like it would be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Willie.
Wonka.
Okay.
Word association.
What about
Oh,
you?
I was
Chris?
thinking. I thought you were telling us to call you Wonka and not Willie.
Oh, there we go.
That's just wonky.
No, Wonka.
Oh, sorry. I mispronounced it.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Cool.
I bet if we press him, he does actually have something, just like last time.
I don't think so. Not unless we're going to talk about other comic books. See, that's what I could do. I read a lot of fringe comics. When I say fringe, I mean outside of the podcast reading.
Right. He borrowed a omnibus from me.
I did. I borrowed the
Squirrel Girl?
no, it's Dark Knight's Death Metal or something.
I
Something
remember
like
that,
Yeah.
I handed it to you.
And it's been interesting so far. It has a lot of references to other events that have happened over the years in DC, and I'm not super far into it because I wanted to make sure to read for this week. I do want to pick up. I still haven't picked up that Spider-Geddon collected edition, like the big one that has the one that you have.
Oh, yeah.
But it has like more. I keep wanting to pick that up, but I've been putting it off mostly because I've had expenses like car repairs and stuff.
It
Yeah,
happens.
But
That always sucks.
yeah, I played board games with my kids, but that's
Nice.
yeah. I'll report in on what if I think the Dark Knight's Metal or whatever it's called is worth the read if you're not. Like for Patrick, he picked it up. I know that there's stuff in it that is supposed to be pretty good, and the artwork in it's definitely it's cool. But I'll have to share whether I think the listeners should check it out. And once I'm further.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Wilhelm Wonka.
Yeah.
Will Wonka. Do you have
Wonka
wacky
facts.
Oh, do you have Wonka facts today?
Not really.
Wouldn't that have
That
been
would
interesting?
have been very
I haven't.
interesting.
I haven't. Since we recorded
do you have a
last
candy
Friday,
fact?
candy fact. I could probably look one up, but like I was busy over the weekend, so I didn't do a whole lot of surfing.
Oh, you're fine.
So I don't really have one. I did read a little bit about they found a sunken pirate ship
Nice.
from like the mid 18th century off the coast of Spain, like in between Spain and Morocco.
Really?
And apparently it had been found before in like 2005, but like the ship was looking for something else kind of in that area, and then they lost it.
Okay,
and some divers recently refound it.
so I need to clarify something. Was the ship that was looking for something else the pirate ship that was lost, or was it the one
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
looking for things?
Both.
Oh, so the pirate ship that was lost moves around.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a Black Pearl thing. I'm
So
in
it's
for
the
it.
Basically.
Flying Dutchman.
But yeah, apparently the ship had like 20 cannons on it and like a couple dozen muskets and some pottery and all this other stuff. So they were able to date it to like 1746
Makes
or something.
sense. That's like Age of Sail.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
fun.
the latter portion of the Age of Sail.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Very
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
On a completely
So did they
different-
bring it up then?
No,
Or
it's basically just crumbling.
I
Did
see.
they look for any gold or anything?
They did, but all they found were the cannons and the muskets and pottery, and they found a bottle of like that was obviously hand blown glass at that time, and
Hand blown.
yeah,
Right.
they just used their hands to blow it.
That'd be fanned. That'd be hand fanned.
And yeah, no, I think they're still researching it since they rediscovered it, but
20 years later.
That's fun.
and then I kind of skimmed through this other article where these scientists in like the University of Shanghai were trying to write some formulas to prove that our brains use quantum string theory to fire our nerves and synapses and all that other stuff.
Huh.
Interesting.
I wonder if they succeeded.
I don't know. A lot of people already thought about that, but they say that our brain is too hot in order to facilitate any kind of quantum interactions. But apparently they're like, hey, if, X, Y, and Z are true, then maybe it is possible.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
So
I read some brain science stuff recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was the science behind the inverse of deja vu. Are you familiar with jamais vu?
No.
It's when things that are very normal to you are common associations all of a sudden lose meaning or they look incorrect. Like when you've written a word enough times and then
Oh, that
it
happens to
looks
me.
wrong to it. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
And so they do studies to where they force people to write common words over and over and over again. And they find that like between 25 and 35 repetitions, people will no longer feel that the word is real or has any meaning. And
Or
it's
is-
like when you see somebody and you forget their name, even though you know them.
I mean,
It's
I
like
do that all the time.
Yeah, it's jamais vu. It's actually the inverse of deja vu. Instead of having the feeling of familiarity with something new, you have the estrangement of something common.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
super
fun.
interesting.
That happened to me.
I read like the whole article on it because they're trying to like talk more about the instance and how it happens and things like
So
that.
yeah, I in high school had to take an art class, and in it we had to do a picture where we wrote everything in words. So, if you were making a tree, you'd write it out in tree. And I don't remember exactly what I made, but like part way through the first day, I'm like, I've spelled this word out 50 times. But for whatever reason, I feel like I'm spelling it incorrectly now after, X amount of times. And I have to look it up, even though
Axolotl.
it was a very simple word. And I'm like, how have I written it this many times and all of a sudden I'm feeling like I'm misspelling it?
Yep.
That's
It's kind
fun.
of crazy. That reminds me of another brain thing I read about. About how our brains get rid of waste while we sleep. Because they couldn't
That's
quite
why I have to change my pants every morning.
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
flushed. It gets flushed or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how it got out
Okay.
because there's like a membrane, and it's like they
The-
couldn't figure out exactly how.
The blood-brain barrier.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out exactly how all of this stuff was getting outside of our brains, but apparently it's like our brains while we sleep are getting flushed with cerebral fluids,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's basically like ports. That's what they think. I don't know.
Cool.
It was a while ago.
I love the
Sweet.
human body.
I mean, I'm pretty
Attached
I'm
to
pretty
yours.
attached to mine. Yeah.
I mean, I could do with or without at this point.
Will comes in incorporeal.
the
next.
youngest
That'd be
the
awesome.
youngest one's like, my body's all right.
Anyway,
Anywho,
so Will,
Take it or leave it.
is that the extent of your facts today?
I think that is. Most
Wow.
of that was just like off the top of my dome. So
That was mostly
Just
brain facts
spitting
and
facts.
and a pirate ship. So we're gonna grab Chris's bag, Christoph's bag,
Oh, okay.
because you know what time it is.
Yeah, it's time to.
time to not
Those
eat
guys
those
with
eggs.
snacks.
Guys with snacks. Will tries weird things. Will tries something 2 times this week.
I know. I'm not
He
going to
can't take an L 2 weeks in a row.
Can't get defeated twice.
Listening back, so I had to edit that section so heavily, and it's just like it made me feel bad for you all over again.
Alrighty then.
Let me guess. He's gonna pull out just a box of cilantro.
Bro.
Well, there's a box right here. McVitie's
Hobnanos.
Hobnobs.
What?
Hobnobs.
Oh, your hand was partially over the word on the other side.
Rolled wheat and whole wheat biscuits.
Well, he's
Milk
got
chocolate
celiac,
flavor.
so this is going to be a problem. No, I'm just kidding.
My mom thought I had celiac for like the longest time. That was like the worst.
These, again, look good. Christoph just goes, hey, or have, like, treats.
Yeah,
Quote-
I'm
quote
good
on-
with this.
Quote unquote weird food. But it turns out he's just like, hi, these are some really delicious snacks. I want to hear them crunching into a microphone.
He sees them and goes, do I want these? I don't know. I'll have them try them. If they sound good, I'll eat 'em.
It might be.
He's got a list of them. He has like a spreadsheet of his own about them. Ooh. Oh, those look a little different than I thought from the picture. Oh, it's a reverse side.
Yeah, I probably opened it up upside down. But that's fine.
Here, hand me that box.
I'm gonna take 2 because they get stuck together.
Do it. They smell all right.
Yep.
I mean, they look like chocolate
Yeah, I know.
and
right?
wheat
So-
chocolate.
Cheers. I
Cheers.
Cheers. Quick, go get the toupee. Introducing the newest member to this podcast. His name is Frederick.
Yeah.
He's the one who holds all of the snacks while Chris takes a picture. It's his one job. He doesn't talk. Frederick is a mute.
I like the consistency of the cookie. Mm-hmm. It's almost a little grainy.
Yeah, I'd eat these again. These are pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, a treat. We had a treat again. Patrick's his mouth is so full.
You shove that whole thing in there like a champion.
That's the right way to eat those. You just eat the whole disc and then chase it with milk or something. That would be good. Or some coffee. Those would probably be good with coffee.
I bet. I like they didn't have too much chocolate. Usually they like douse the whole thing and dump a little extra, kind of like Five Guys fries.
Yeah, it was good.
What'd you think, Will? You finished yours.
I did finish it. It is good. It was a nice reprieve from the psychic damage I took from last week's.
Nice.
Yeah, that was not a preserved cookie. It probably got preservatives, but it's not a
Could've.
century-old cookie.
What if there was?
I'm sure there's something weird like that. I mean, people still find like the what's it called? Crack? Or what's the
Yeah, people are pretty good at finding crack.
is it called crack?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The biscuits, what are they called? That were on ships. This goes along with your pirate ship thing. What are they called? Dang it. Tack.
Tack. Yeah,
That's what
okay.
they're called. Tack biscuits. And they were like super duper hard. People still find tins of them today. And they're not moldy and stuff.
So like, not 9 and not 8, 10s of them.
Nah,
Patrick.
he's on a roll.
Yes.
No, a biscuit.
Nah, rolled wheat.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, thank you, Christoph, for the cookie. We don't have an email this week because
we do not.
are in between our 2 recordings, technically.
Technically.
We haven't released one since our last recording. That
Nope,
will
I just
release tomorrow.
Pulled the
And
trigger
as
and read
you
that one
all
early.
listen, we have attended Fan Expo by now. So, yeah. It's a shame we can't plug, hey, try to hit up Fan Expo, because that was last weekend.
Right. We did that last one, though.
I think we did it 2 times ago. I don't remember if we mentioned it last week.
I don't
thought
think we did. I didn't think we did.
I think the egg threw everybody off.
That might be.
I know I ended up with a little bit of indigestion afterwards.
For your super
my-
duper tiny bite,
I'd ate half of that.
I would say a quarter.
Half. Easy. To be fair, I didn't eat half the egg. No.
No.
We split one
I
egg.
can't imagine you.
If I had tried to eat half the egg,
If you would have just taken a bite into it.
I would have spit it out.
Is it bad that I kind of want to get those
No.
just to put them on a salad?
No, you said you wanted to try that.
I know.
I actually think, especially depending on the dressing you choose,
Right.
that could be pretty good.
I know, dude.
Yeah, you just
Blue cheese dressing.
That'd
douse
be
it.
too
So,
much.
wouldn't even know that it's there.
That'd be too much.
yeah. I met a guy one time. Now you say blue cheese dressing. And he was like, yeah, I really love blue cheese dressing, but it has these little like knobs in it that aren't so good. So I just got to like pick those out. I'm like, so you like ranch?
Yes.
Because like the little knobs in there are the blue cheese. So you don't like blue cheese.
You just
But-
like dressing.
You just like ranch.
He undressed his dressing.
Yeah.
Took all the bits out.
You know, that's why I knock on my refrigerator before I open it.
Make sure that there's nobody dressing.
Make sure
Or-
there's not a solid dressing.
There you go.
Yeah, good job.
Yep.
Wow. He is the Punisher today.
He
I usually
is.
think about these things and don't say them, but you're welcome.
should
to-
It feels right today.
It
Is
does.
that
I
what
don't
it
know
is?
why.
Just always say it. Just make this your unfiltered hour
Nah.
of Patrick.
Of
No, nobody wants that.
pun trick.
Well, then, sorry to say this is Patrick's last day. Frederick is going to be taking his place next week.
Does
And he's
Frederick
just-
like puns?
Frederick
I don't
is
know yet.
full of puns.
He just got hired, so I'm still getting to know him.
So, is there a Roomba in the
There
room?
is. We actually do have a pretty
There's
solid...
a Wonka in the room.
Gosh dang it.
I kept forgetting what we were talking about.
Green Lantern.
Well, no, it kept throwing me off because when I edit and we record around the same time, I'll start, like when I wrote the description for our episode, I started writing it for what we're recording today instead of what we're publishing.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Like my brain, it gets hard to keep track which thing we're talking about.
That happens to me with the artwork. Because I'll be like, needs to be like red with rage. And I'm like, no. That's this week's. We're recording that this week. It's got to
And
be.
it's weird. You're recording the next one when you're working on the release of that week. So
Right.
your brain gets befuddled. Mine does.
Befuddlement. Anyway. Now that the Book of Oa has been rewritten to allow the Lanterns to use lethal force, the Smurfs deem it necessary to create a new division of the Green Lantern Corps called the Alpha Lanterns. Think of it as a sort of internal affairs, if you will. Their job is to police the Lanterns themselves to ensure they don't misuse the lethal force they have been given. Elsewhere in the cosmos, more colors of the emotional spectrum are gaining power and gathering followers. Are you still snacking over there?
Those are stale.
That was not part of the synopsis. That was a quick break. While transporting Sinestro to his execution, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and some other Lanterns, whose names I don't remember, are ambushed by the remaining Yellow Lanterns, still loyal to Sinestro. Little did they know that a double ambush was about to take place as the newly formed Red Lanterns of Rage charge in and take Sinestro. If a double ambush wasn't enough for you, the rarely seen triple ambush arrives as a Blue Lantern of Hope flies into the aid of the Green Lanterns and quells the rage left behind by the Red. The Blue Lantern grabs Hal Jordan and takes him, almost against his will, back to his home world, where Hal is reunited with Ganthet, who's the only Smurf we actually liked. Ganthet is the one who started the Blue Lantern Corps and asked Hal to go on a mission to save the treacherous Sinestro from the Red Lanterns, who took them back to their home world to bleed him out slowly. Will Hal Jordan be able to rescue the mentor who betrayed him, or will he give in to the kaleidoscope of emotions within him? Find out today on Guys with Issues.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Hal partially willingly went because his willpower is so strong.
Yeah.
And even stronger with Blue Lanterns around.
Basically infinitely stronger because they don't have to worry about their charge.
Pretty cool.
And
Yes.
it looks like they can heal. I think I remember you saying that, and it looked like that in the...
Yeah, they have restorative powers. I mean, you see him heal a sun.
Yeah, and then...
Like a star, not
a child.
Somebody, right?
Yep, it goes from about to supernova to blue again.
Right.
Anyway, so
Anywho.
we'll start talking about the goods.
And the bads.
Patrick,
What about the uglies?
Thank you. Oh,
there were definitely some uglies. Some of those Red Lanterns,
I know,
man,
right?
they are just ugly.
for a second I was just about to be disappointed.
Oh,
It was interesting that you hear the name Bleeze. You get to see Dex Star for a minute too, but he's the cat.
oh yes.
Was that who the cat was?
Dex Star.
Oh, the cat was so
His
cool.
name, it's like DEXSTARR. Dex Star.
Nice.
Yep, he's the kitty. So,
The house cat from hell.
no, from,
Sector 666.
I wanted to say Ismalt.
Yasmalt.
Is that the-
Yeah,
Ismalt.
Ismalt. Yeah.
Ismalt.
Something like
Patrick,
Yeah.
favorite scene.
The whole end.
The whole end.
Yeah, all of it.
Like when they're fighting on the planet of Red Lanterns
Yes.
to free Sinestro,
Correct.
and Hal becomes a green and blue lantern at the same time.
Right after he was a red one. Yes.
that. Well, for a second there, he looked like a red, green, and blue.
He did. It was
he still
really
had-
cool.
He was almost a traffic light.
He was almost a traffic light.
So very close.
But yeah, Hal, well, never mind.
Thank you. Yep, that's it.
That is a good part. I
Yeah.
knocked some hats. Will,
Honestly, there's a lot of good parts. I didn't think I disliked any. in
there
this
are a
entire-
ton of good moments.
One of the ones I liked was when Sinestro was still in his science cell and they were transporting him, and he was talking to the guy with the fuzzy face, one of the Green Lanterns. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what are you afraid of? You know, because I'm not afraid of anything. And Sinestro asks him, like, you're not even afraid of death? And he just about says no, and he gets shot. I'm like, that's kind of a cool...
And his head is just gone.
Yeah.
It's
Gone.
like,
That is just like a cool bad guy moment. And I'm like, I hate that I kind of like that.
I just like that Sinestro knew that they were there and they were coming to free him, and he took the moment to heckle a dude before he died.
Right.
Like, that was literally that really is a bad guy moment. You're right.
But it's such a good bad guy moment.
It is. What would say? I like when Sinestro, I like his line, since we're talking about the lines. I'm just going to share this. I don't think this is my favorite moment, but I like when he tells Hal Jordan, when he corrects him, when he's like, they were your friends. And he's like, I never had friends. I had colleagues, or whatever he calls them.
Right.
But then he's like, the only people I've ever called friends were Abensur and you. Mm-hmm. And I just like that he says, like, he considered Hal a friend.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
That's good.
But I would say my favorite, I'll say when you get to see Hal go Red Lantern, that's pretty unique. That's like a
was.
unique moment.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah, Patrick, what else do you have for favorite moments?
I liked
I'm sure you have a few.
when John Stewart was attempting to reconstruct whatever happened to
the
whatever the
planet.
thing. Yeah. and his willpower exceeded what the ring could do. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, as he was bringing a planet back,
Yeah.
almost like how Hal tried to build Coast City when he was back in Emerald
But
Twilight.
he just used the power of the ring, not the pieces of a planet to reconstruct
Right.
the planet.
Yeah, it's pretty
Especially
cool.
because I think it was back in like Rebirth. Hal's talking about how everybody does things differently. Like he's very simple. Kyle basically draws his constructs, and
Right.
he's always fudging with them. And then John builds his like inside out like an architect, because that's what he is. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
And so it's like, he was, actually building every single little piece of this planet, or at least trying to.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that part is cool.
That's cool.
I had forgotten about that. I wasn't thinking about it.
How dare you?
It was a good moment.
It was.
I also like that moment, but like
Yes.
right before that, he's like, yeah, whenever anybody, has a good victory or whatever, hard time, he's like, Hal always shacks up with a new girlfriend. Kyle goes in by
Yep.
himself and paints a picture no one human is ever going to see. Guy goes and drinks Kilowog under the table, and I come here to where my biggest
Failure.
is. And I'm like, that's, I really like that. And then it shows like how much John knows about every single other Earthling lantern. And
Right.
then, like right after that, you see Hal with Cowgirl. And then, Hal shows up. He's like, oh, sorry, I'm late. And he's like, well, what's her name?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I will continue the John Stewart then, since we all mentioned. That way we're all on John for this round. I like the part where he turns down being an Alpha Lantern. I like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
that's
like
also-
that they thought he qualified,
That was on my list.
and he was like, "No, I'm not going to do it without knowing more about it." And that was a smart decision.
It was.
But yeah, like you said, they're kind of like the internal bureau.
Internal
they're-
affairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think of them like the ISB in the Empire, Internal Security Bureau.
Basically.
It's what they call them in Star Wars. But yeah, they're the ones that police the police. So
Right.
so yeah, I just like how he is chosen, and then how he turns it down.
Right.
What else you got, Patrick?
I was, I don't know. I had so many things.
Well, go ahead. I don't
Oh.
really have many.
The way that Atrocitus got the ring, that whole scene was just crazy. All the blood and stuff coming out, and
Yeah.
the red rings are
And he
nothing to deal with, or nothing to mess with.
He basically had to kill all the other like denizens. It seemed like.
Well, I know he kills the one guy
Yeah, he kills the one guy.
and uses his innards to like make his ring.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
For those of you who don't know anything about Red Lanterns, their rings replace their hearts. Once a Red Lantern ring is on you, you can't take it off or you die. And unless you have a
Blue ring?
a blue ring to heal you,
Right.
basically. There's more on that later, by the way.
Right. I figured.
But the Red Lanterns are kind of out of their minds, and they puke acid blood that cuts through the shields of the other Lantern Corps, and
Yes.
they're just out of control. That's why they're one of the extremes.
That's why
they
there's a
are-
cat is one of them.
Yeah, because cats, that just proves it. Cats are
does.
full of rage, man.
Full of rage.
You see his backstory eventually. You see
Yeah,
his
that's
origin.
Great.
But that's why rage and love are the two extremes to the spectrum. Why the Star Sapphires are on the other end.
Nice.
So, Will, what else you got?
Do you have any more? I can knock out a couple at the same time.
No, I the only other one that I think I wrote down. I mean, there's things that I could think of. I didn't write much.
So,
I mostly just shared. I figured I'd jump on if you guys bring
Yeah.
stuff up.
A couple of mine happened when Sinestro was nailed to the cross. in place of Atrocitus. So like, I think the first one happened when Atrocitus like kills another Yellow Lantern and uses blood and stuff to make a prophecy or to divine something from Sinestro, and it's like, oh, I now know your weakness. You actually have a daughter.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time you see Sinestro like break character, basically, because it's, he's always very stoic, very stone faced. And it was the first time you saw him feel fear, but he felt it for somebody else. So that whenever he's, bragging, be like, oh, there's nothing I'm afraid of. Now we know that's a lie because he's, afraid for his daughter. And then kind of at the same time, like right after Sinestro was like, you were, he was in the science cell and he told Hal, you were one of the people I considered a friend. When Hal first gets to the planet and finds him, Sinestro was like, Hal, behind you, right before he got attacked by the Red Lanterns. Mm-hmm. So he was still like, whether it was just like a reflex or maybe part of him still genuinely cares about Hal, he was like warning him that he was about to get attacked. And I'm like, that's a cool little piece that kind of shows you about, Sinestro.
Yeah.
For sure. I like that Hal Jordan, one of the scenes that I wrote down was that he creates a force bubble and makes out with Cowgirl while controlling 2 jets at once.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. But the fact that he can focus on all of those things at once also shows why he's so good at being a Green Lantern.
Sure.
That's why I wrote it down, because it's like, that just shows his level of focus.
Right.
Really good Green Lantern, really good jet pilot.
Really good maker-outer.
She'd know.
Right? She sticks around, so I figure it must be okay.
Maybe.
Do you have another one?
Nope.
Really? Mm-hmm. I figured you'd have a list.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there
Most
was
of them were stuff out of the last thing, and I've already said those.
Do you have any more?
The whole thing was good. I think everybody said everything that was on mine.
I like that the Alpha Lanterns, how they have the saying, no lantern escapes the Alpha Lanterns, mirrors the no man escapes the Manhunters that were earlier in the story.
Sure. Because they're pretty much manhunters.
Yeah, they said they combine the two things.
Mm-hmm. But didn't they
yeah.
do that before with the manhunters?
But without the Green Lantern side.
But they were Green Lanterns.
No, they weren't.
The manhunters?
Mm-mm. They're just robots.
Okay.
No.
I thought they were Green Lanterns.
Mm-mm. They can't use the power. They sap it, like the newer ones.
Sure.
But as far as like, they don't have like powers like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't write this down because I feel like we talk about it all the time, but the artwork in this is still just like the best.
It is.
There were so many really good like.
This was
splash.
Ivan Race,
There's so yeah.
the guy who's going to be there this weekend. Or
Oh,
last
sweet.
weekend. Yeah, he'll be there with. He works with Jeff Johns on some of Johns' new independent stuff.
Nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's like the splash page where he first gets to like the Blue Lantern base.
I was going to ask if you like Odin, the planet
Yeah,
of the
that
Blue
was really
Lantern.
cool.
It's like a
Yeah.
paradise.
Yeah.
Really cool. There was the very first and the first set of issues we read when Liara was going on trial and like all the lost lanterns were around her. That was really cool. They just had so much, we say it all the time, but so much cool art.
Her trial was good.
Yeah.
Like that section, like the way it was done. It's just like, and even what she was being tried for, all of it, like
Yes. That kind
It
of
was
surprised me
interesting.
when she did that.
killed him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like where he was like, yeah, but then everybody's going to try to do what I did. And she's like, then I'm going to make sure they know what's going to happen.
Right.
And it's well written because, so for those of you who didn't read, one of the Yellow Lanterns, Amin Sur, right?
Yeah,
What's his name?
it was Abin Sur's son.
Yes.
He, we saw him run away at one point during the Sinestro Corps War. And so he was still out and about, didn't get captured. And he goes and kills Kihan's family, one of the Lost Lanterns, and hoping to inspire other Sinestro Corps members to hunt down the families of Green Lanterns to instill fear.
Right.
And she, even though he turns himself in, being like, "Oh, boo-hoo, I'll be turned like, oh, you can take me." She executes him on the spot. She just goes, "Nope," because in her mind, if he sets an example, then others might follow, thinking they can also get away with it. And so I like the perspective of that, because you can feel both justified in what she did and opposed to what she did.
Yep.
Like even it, like as an individual reading, you could feel both ways, and I like that. That's incredibly well crafted. So that was a good.
She
way
had
to
a
do
good.
that.
She had a good character arc overall, because at the end,
And it's not over, is it? Did
At
she
the-
die?
At the end, it looked like she died
You're right.
because Sinestro kills her right after she.
Because that's what makes Hal mad enough to become a red. It's her ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. She did die.
Yeah, but she finally had like the willpower to suppress the blind rage that is instilled in people when they obtain a red ring, and right after that, Sinestro kills her, and Hal's like, "Yeah, we'll save you," and then like yellow light punches through her, and
Yep.
down she goes. But
Yeah, there's so much more to come with some of that, like how the red power works. And yeah, it has its own. When we get through Blackest Night and finish the Brightest Day section, when everything resets at the New 52, one of the 4 series you have to read then to get to the end is Red Lanterns. They have their own book.
Oh.
For 20 issues.
Cool.
Because there's 80 issues after what we're reading right now, like the Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps books end. Then there's 1 through 20 of Green Lantern Corps, Red Lanterns, and New Guardians. And then that leads to the big finale that closes out the whole storyline.
Nice.
Yeah.
things go like the Wrath of the White Lantern or something like that.
Don't worry about it.
I accidentally started reading it.
Yeah,
before.
I remember. Don't worry about it. That's not exactly what it is, and I'm not going to correct you, so I don't want to, because I don't want to give anything out. What did you guys think of the Sinestro's daughter plot moment?
Oh, Will liked it.
I did like it.
What did you think?
Yeah.
Though.
It's good.
Yeah. Is that kind of like, did you expect something like that? Or
Not really.
I mean,
But-
I can't imagine there's anybody that's not afraid of anything. So that
Yeah.
didn't surprise me that he had a fear.
yeah.
But then the question is it not to?
Is that what you think?
Yeah, is it her? Is she
Did
actually?
you think about anything like that, or were you riding the way you normally do?
Oh, the way I normally do. Kidding me? I was riding
Will's
my
like,
not thinking
have
about
we
it wave.
seen this? Have we seen this character? That's what Will's thinking.
Yeah.
Because
Who could it be? Is what Will's thinking, and you're just like, cool.
Cool. He has a daughter. He's scared for her. Good.
I just love
On to the
that
next
that's
part.
Totally different ways of reading.
that's why we're sitting across from each other.
Yeah,
It's a good dichotomy.
it is.
It is.
Well,
It's excellent.
But yeah,
So you
I think
think it might be Sornik?
it would make more sense to have somebody that we've already seen than somebody we haven't for whatever reason. That and he basically left his home world to her because they had the whole fight there.
Early. Oh, that's
And
right.
like he
Yep.
has this whole like superiority complex. So who else would be better to leave his homeworld to than his own spawn? Like
So
his daughter.
that's his fan theory.
it
My
is.
fan theory.
I just
It's
wanted to
Wonka
say fan.
theory.
My wacky Wonka theory.
Your wacky Wonka theory.
Well, there you go. I guess we'll find out
Will's
probably in the
wacky
next
Wonka
weeks.
theories.
The next few weeks, we'll probably find out.
I will not remember we had this conversation.
I'll remind you.
Thanks.
Because if it happens, I'll be like, I told you, Patrick.
And
So-
I'll be like, you sure did.
And you better say it exactly like that.
I'll forget, but we'll try.
Anyway.
So Patrick,
So,
did you have a favorite character?
no,
Wow. None of them.
none of them.
Wow. Is that because they were all lacking or there were a lot of good characters?
There were a lot of good characters,
Okay.
and I don't want to choose.
Yeah. That's fair. I just wasn't sure which way. I assumed that's what it was, but I didn't want to.
Right.
I didn't want to.
That's why you do what I did and just write down every character name that showed up.
Oh, okay.
He scrolls like
I got a
for-
list.
He has like 30 seconds of scroll on his phone. Hold on. This person, this person, this. Will, do you have a top favorite? Do you
Top
have
favorite?
One? Number one.
I got to throw it to Sinestro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was
He's-
thinking about that.
He,
To be perfectly honest, I really almost gave it to him.
I
but-
wondered.
Yeah.
he, every time he was on scene, at the beginning when he's in the science cells, when he's getting rescued, when he's on the cross, he was always just like a good character. He always had good lines, either jokes or puns or, greater philosophical things about, the universe of Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason he's like my favorite villain. Like when
Yeah, he's a great.
he's just so layered, man. I appreciate black
Like
and
an
white,
onion.
good and good and bad, but like Sinestro is such a interesting bad guy.
He is. I agree.
And the question is he always a bad guy? Like really? Like is even I mean, he's
It's-
doing bad things now, but in his mind, they're the means to the end he believes need to.
Right.
That's what makes him so
Yeah, which
good.
is why I love that conversation in when he was talking to Hal in the beginning before his execution. He was like, the Blackest Night is coming. You guys weren't ready. I did what I did. Now you can use lethal force. And that is exactly what you're going to need to survive the Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Right. But did him creating a new Lantern Corps put into what's the word I'm looking for? Into motion all of the other rings coming into power?
For the Blackest Night.
Yes.
I think it started a momentum because
Not a memento. A
no,
memento.
no.
Right.
Definitely not. But he started his, and so because of that, Ganthet and Sayid left,
Went to do the blue.
and they did the blue. And I think that kind of sparked the
Although the red
The-
probably would have happened on its own.
the violet and
Well, we
all this-
saw the Violet already working. Once the Sinestro Corps war happened, they showed the Zamorans were like, we need rings instead of this crazy Star Sapphire crystal that just takes people over.
Right, but would they've had the idea?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's, yeah. No, I think it's both his machinations trying to make sure people survive, but also it's almost that idea of that whole like self-fulfilled prophecy where he is
Yes.
causing it at the same time.
We didn't even talk about the traitorous Smurf.
No, we did not.
That was
Scar.
With the scarred Smurf.
that was really cool. When it's it's kind of graphic, but
Where he had
when,
multiple symbols on his one eye and the other.
yeah, it's like it got polluted by the parallax, and then all the black started running out of its eyes, and it started looking into the future and all this other stuff.
Did you notice any symbols you didn't recognize?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
But yeah, that was
And then I just went, okay, that happened and moved on. I didn't think about it.
I think
Yeah,
they've shown that symbol once,
Maybe.
but you wouldn't remember it from what they did if I remember correctly, if I'm thinking correctly. By the way, all of this stuff and something from Blackest Night also plays into the Dark Knight's metal. There's actually
That's
a
awesome.
part where they do something and I went, "Oh man, that was But if you haven't read Blackest Night, it
Right.
wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, okay. But if you like, if once you read Blackest Night, if you read that scene, you're like, oh,
That's cool.
yeah, it was. It was cool. But yeah, you're right.
Definitely cool.
Scar or whatever.
Scarface, yeah.
Yeah.
Who I don't know about the Smurfs, like what they are, but
The Guardians.
the artwork made me think that originally the Scarface was a woman,
Yeah.
and then later on it looked like a man.
No, there are male and female. She is one of the female
Because I
ones.
thought Sayed was a female,
She is.
and then some of the artwork made it look like she was a man. I don't know if it was just like the weird.
Most of the females are bald and the males have like long ponytailed hair.
yeah, you see,
Or not always
Sayed
long.
had
It's not always long.
Sayed had hair, kind of shorter hair.
Does she have hair?
I don't
I
remember.
I didn't
I
think
went-
she has hair.
I went back
I don't
and
think she does.
in this reading, she did. Because I looked and I'm like, I didn't know they were kind of.
Now I'm curious. I didn't think she did, but I could be wrong.
We're gonna look it up.
So what else? What else do we have? Dude, I say my favorite character? I'm gonna say Saint Walker. I like Saint Walker. It's a good intro.
Oh, not
the Blue
el-
Lantern.
not the elephant guy, but the guy with like tentacle hair.
He's just one tentacle. It's a tendril.
Tendril hair.
It's like he's like a Twi'lek.
The old TH.
Like the male Twi'leks from Star Wars. He just has like a
there
tentacle
you go.
head.
Look,
Look.
like Ganthet's the one with the long flowing hair,
Yes.
and the other one has hair.
Are you sure that's not just the light reflecting off of her head? You think that's hair?
That was just
It
the
could
first
be.
one.
I mean, it could be like a weird comb over.
That's what it looks like.
I
mean,
don't
I can
remember
see
her having
it.
a comb over.
I
No, I think that's.
I think it's supposed to be reflection
Yeah.
off her bald head. But I do see what you see. Like 100%, I could see that looking like hair. But it doesn't look like.
But
a
then you
butt.
go over a couple pages, and then there's that.
Oh, so she does have hair. She has really short hair.
Well, there you go.
Maybe they shave it. Maybe they shave it when they're in
know,
the group. But since she's gone rogue,
That
she's
could
trying to
be.
grow it out.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's drawn. I was really confused.
No, I think you're right. She does have hair. I wasn't looking that closely. Like, I don't look at the artwork that much when I read comics, especially if I've read them before.
Sure.
I look at parts of it, but like the general stuff like that, I don't look that closely. I know you do. You actually spend quite a bit of time
Especially
looking at it.
this one. Like if I don't like the artwork, I'll just kind of skim over it and be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But this artwork in particular, just I really, really enjoy.
I mean, it's very good.
It is very good.
I agree. Who were some of your others? Patrick, did you want to mention anybody besides Sinestro? I picked Saint Walker just because I like his character ongoing. I think it's a good intro, and I like that it shows he is a good representation of the hope and optimism that Blue Lanterns are hope.
Sure.
And so I enjoy that. I enjoy that even when the Green Lantern wasn't there, and so his ring was ineffective, he didn't give up.
Right.
He was like, nope, still going to hope.
I like that guy that you just talked about.
Yep.
I also like John Stewart.
Oh, he's
Oh,
on my
yeah.
list too.
Yeah, just because of all
John's
the-
hit or miss,
like-
and I think this was good.
Yeah, like he was like, nope, you guys are doing something sketchy. I'm out. He made good
Peace.
decisions.
He did.
Yeah.
My last one's John Stewart's on my list. Obviously, Hal Jordan. He's always a good character. Liara and the big elephant guy. Because I didn't remember what his name was.
Brother
Where art thou?
Vath or something like that,
I
maybe?
think that was right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Blue Lanterns
Sounds
are
like
one of my
something.
favorites. Our friend Susan used to say that I was one. I think I've become more jaded over the years, but at one time that's, I couldn't be a Green Lantern. I don't have the willpower, but
I like the blues too.
You like blues?
Well, that too.
You like jazz? Did you have?
Do you think that planet just had just a low level jazz playing the entire time?
Dude, it's a pretty jazzy planet.
I know, right?
It looks awesome. It could totally. I mean, if a planet was going to have music assigned to it,
Right.
then that it would either be like chill blues or like smooth jazz there.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
Whereas Ysmalt of the Red Lanterns, that's death metal.
Right.
100%.
Definitely.
100%. You can't have people vomiting blood and screaming without it being death metal.
Yeah, I mean, yes. It goes without saying, really.
So, did you have a least favorite scene?
No.
You're like, nope.
This will be a short segment because neither did I.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's
Like
it's
the pacing
so
was good.
tightly done, man.
Yeah. Like there was no wasted. They didn't even really waste, but they dropped in here and there like nuggets or like seeds for the future. You know,
Right.
but they didn't take up so much time that it became super annoying. It was just like a nice little break in the action to flash and be like, oh, this is something that's also happening, like the Orange Lantern thing, Violet Ant, light, whatever, rings, with like Carol getting kidnapped.
And the people encased in crystal housing,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
including the girl with the dogs, Carousel, with the big smile. She was in one of the crystals, the Sinestro Corps girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then what looked like John Stewart's girlfriend or whatever, his love interest, going out and looking for him.
What's her name? Fatality or something like that? Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know. It just reminds me of Mortal Kombat.
No, I'm pretty sure her name's like Fatality.
I think it was Fatality because I thought of Mortal Kombat as well.
Fatality.
Right.
I don't think that's how they say her name, though.
You should. But no, yeah, let me put it this way. Usually when we get done with reading our comic books, I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm done. I'm looking forward to reading more. Yeah, no. I had such a hard time putting it down that I asked Chris why he hates me pretty much.
Right?
No, I think you said that. I'm pretty sure you
No,
actually
I said, I was like, how dare you? I thought we were friends.
yes. Yeah. And and I was so confused.
For
I was
making me
like,
stop reading this comic book because I
Yeah.
have to talk about it again later.
because I was like, because then you said, I can't believe you do this to me.
That's right.
And I was like, what is he talking about? And then when you're like, I'm hooked, I was like, oh, he just liked it that much. And I hadn't gotten to the end. The last page of this is just a cliffhanger.
It is.
It's literally it's literally a what? And then it's over.
But that's what makes it so good is that they get you like that, man.
I know, but I can't. I had to stop reading. That's
know.
the thing. Had I not had to stop reading, I would have continued.
You would have come in and been like, I finished that omnibus.
Right.
Something that I also thought was interesting in this is I could understand why why they can bind the rise of the Alpha Lanterns with this because of Lyra becoming a Red Lantern.
Right.
And like how that went directly into the Red Lantern stuff that we read.
Right.
And so to have Secret Origins kind of break that up, because that sets up Atrocitus and the Prophecy. So it was
Yeah.
like a moment where they had, it would have ended with her getting the Red Lantern ring. And then you would have read Secret Origins to see the whole thing with the Prophecy and Atrocitus. And then Final Crisis saying, this is Atrocitus. This is how he made his ring.
Right.
Like, I understand why they do Secret Origin separately when they publish it. I understand why they changed that. Because really, it does kind of like stutters the momentum, I think, a little bit.
Right.
Because those two stories do go so well together.
It does. But then there is the payoff because there are several flashbacks
Oh, yeah.
to Secret Origins between Sinestro and Hal and
Atrocitus.
Atrocitus.
And he references that too, how Sinestro is the one that crucified him there, who put
Yeah,
him back.
yeah.
And
And so you
Things
you
like
have
that.
that like immediate recall of what happened from Secret Origins when they're talking about that. So at first having like the robot Boudica before figuring out like how that happened
yeah,
was a little bit jarring, but now
I
I'm
agree.
on board.
I also like the one throwaway line where her sister was there and like says something and she's like, "You're just observing," and I was like, it's like they went, "Oh yeah, we have to remember her sister's supposed to be there." Like it was literally, like it felt so out of place because it was like, don't forget, we have to remind ourselves that she's there.
That's funny.
That was the only thing that I was like, oh, that's funny. That's silly.
Yeah.
So did you have a least favorite character
No.
then? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I had
did you?
one.
Did you have somebody? I
One.
know I can count on you to complain about somebody.
That's me. If you need somebody to complain about somebody, just give me a call. I
We're
would
gonna call Willy Wonka.
I would say Atrocitus,
Really?
just because he pales in front of Sinestro. Because he's very one-dimensional.
Like he's less red in front of Sinestro.
Yeah. Have you seen Sinestro's skin? It's like that
I-
purpley red
it is.
kind of hue,
Yeah.
and he just looks so pale.
Oh. Well then.
No. But like, you have Sinestro who has, he's like multi-layered and he's like a really well-written villain. And then you have Atrocitus who is only ever just rage and hate for what had been done to him. And so you
Well-
have like an excellent, really well-written villain. And then you have somebody who is just so, like, I like both extremes, but it's really not good to have them standing right in front of each other.
That's fair. And I understand it, but I kind of understand where Mr. Rage is coming from.
Oh, no. I'm just like,
Mr.
Considering he
Rager's
had-
neighborhood.
Considering he had such a long time to just build up that rage on the planet.
Especially since his planet was killed by the Manhunters.
Yes.
So
no, I understand his motivations. I'm just like,
he just
I
feels lacking.
I probably wouldn't have put them together in the same scene.
Sure. Because he pales.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
that was the only thing I could
I don't
sort
really,
of like
I don't think
pull-
I have one.
pull apart from this.
Pale
Yeah.
apart.
I do think we should mention before we score it that it was interesting seeing Hal wrestle. Like, he was sure he had committed to Sinestro getting executed.
Yes.
He was on board. He was like, nope, Sinestro needs to be executed. He's a problem. But now he's got forces beyond him trying to keep Sinestro from being executed
Yes.
and asking him to help with that.
Correct.
So I thought that was interesting.
It was. And it will be once I can start reading
You're like,
again.
dagnabbit.
Which I don't know if we can continue on or if we're going back to core.
I believe it's back to core next week.
Dang it.
But
I don't-
core,
in the DC, unless the DC app is wrong, like your list, but I thought it was it looked like the orange, like Avarice something.
oh, is it
next.
the Agent Orange section next? No, it goes back to core. We jump back to Green Lantern core for this next one, and
which is still good.
It is good.
but core will cover what happens to Carol and the Star Sapphires.
Oh, okay.
So that is what
Sure.
comes next.
I'm not opposed to it.
I believe it's called Sins of the Star Sapphires.
I
Is
just
the story arc.
I just feel like I'm holding on to this cliff.
And then we will go to Prelude to Blackest Night, which is the Agent Orange storyline.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so some of what was set up in this will have payoff in our next reading.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing it cross over a little bit more right now as it leads up to Blackest Night. Like, a lot of this is stuff that people were expected to be reading in tandem.
Right.
So, but anyway, that being said,
Yes.
Do we really even need to score it? Like,
listen, I know it's obvious. Every listener's
it's
like,
a bit arbitrary at this point.
but it's fun to rate it out of something.
Sure.
So that'll be the fun part. What are we going to rate it out of? Colors?
You're gonna. Well, I thought about asking lantern core colors since we had a few, but I thought
Prisms.
we could ask it about. I was gonna ask if you something to do with the red lanterns, right?
How many century-old duck eggs would you eat?
That was last.
Would you?
That's what would
What-
turn Will into a red lantern.
What do they call the prison cells?
Science cells.
Sign cells.
There you go. How about that?
How many science cells?
Right.
Sure. Why not? So, so out of 5, in a scale of 5 to 5, what do you give it, Patrick?
Just a 4. No, I'm kidding. Just it's obviously a 5.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'd give it
okay.
a 5.
Yeah, 5 science cells filled with, at this point, Sinestro Corps members, I
Right.
guess.
It's an Astro Corps members.
I'm not sure a red lantern could be held in one. Because if they're, I don't know if their vomit could break them out.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It looked like it could because they burned out Sinestro.
Yeah, and it also
So-
burned out the personal shields and
Right.
depleted the rings. It like ate away at the energy. And that's why the blue lanterns
Does that mean-
supercharged.
Does that mean they couldn't even get them back to Oa?
I'm sure you could, but it would probably take some kind, I don't know, knock them out or something. More to come on that.
More to come on that.
I'm not sure. Do they ever get a red lantern to Oa?
Find out sometime between now and September. On Guys
Well, I mean, it's
with
such a-
issues.
It's such a lethal, like, parasitic thing because
It
it
is.
replaces your heart that, as soon as you defeat them and, try and take their ring off to destroy the ring, because I think that would be what the Guardians would be ordering
Concerned
people to
of-
do,
Yeah, then they're
Right.
dead.
They're dead.
then they just die.
Yep.
So,
D-E-D. Dead.
RED, dead. No, I'm just kidding. So, and like I just said, the next reading is Sins of the Star Sapphire in the Green Lantern Corps books. That starts on Green Lantern Corps. Oh, cool. It totally wiped my screen. Green Lantern Corps 27, for those of you who are reading along. And you will read 27 to 32.
Cool.
So that looks right. So that will be next issue. Sins
Nice.
of the Star Sapphire.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
You got anything else? Anything else you wanted to mention?
If you ask Will first.
Will, you got anything else?
nope.
Did
that
we
was
forget
finally it.
anything?
I think we covered everything.
It was a good read. This whole
was.
thing's been
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm Patrick.
And this is Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues.
And my ice is all melted, so I couldn't clink my glass at the end.
So you have ice shoes.
I have ice shoes, yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
You can catch Guys with Issues wherever you can find your favorite podcasts.
Or check out our website at guyswithissues.com, where you can listen, find reading lists, follow along, and get to know us better.
Send us emails to longbox@guyswithissues.com and tell us your thoughts or send us suggestions on what we should read next. We would love to hear from our listener. It's okay. We know that you have your positive tattoo. You try
Listen.
to look at the work that people do.
There are 206 bones in the human body. 207 when I'm watching the accolade.